This is Seewing Yi, and today I'm going to go over the mid-year 2023 core logic housing market update. Let me share my screen and let's get it started. Make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel to increase our YouTube channel subscriptions, and also make sure to put your email at the bottom of my website so you can receive weekly real estate investing newsletters. Thank you so much. Let's begin. CoreLogic, U.S. annual home price growth inches up in June. Let me go over the yellow highlights. I just reviewed this a few moments ago. This article is dated 1 August 2023, and the next CoreLogic update will be I believe it's the fourth week, September the 4th. So around 1 month later, you will receive another CoreLogic update, a very reputable and credible housing market analytics data firm. Here are the highlights. The way I see it, U.S. home prices continue to reach new highs in June and are 41% above pre-pandemic levels. So home prices in less than 3 years, on the average across the U.S. has increased 41%, almost half of the value increase in a mere 2.5 years, which I would conclude, being as a real estate investor for more than 20 years myself, and I owned my first home 30 years ago, and I guide thousands of my small real estate investors, real estate investors to buy over the U.S. over the years. I had never seen anything like it. This is the people who purchased during 2019, 2020, 2021, and the first half of 2022 have achieved double-digit, triple-digit, and quad home appreciation of some of my investors who bought rental homes in the hot markets in the South and Southeast in the past few years. Their home prices in select neighborhoods, select markets that we help with risk investors to buy cash flow homes, their home prices increased anywhere from 50 to 100% over the past near 2 years. Again, this is a record pace. These people are laughing their way all the way to the bank. They have achieved what I call a real estate investing lottery. Real estate lottery. You don't need to go out there, play the scratch, whatever. You pay the regular lottery. You could win the real estate lottery if you buy early enough, if you buy in the right market before the competition comes back to compete against you. Anyway, a little bit sidetrack there. This is this presentation, this video is mainly for everybody, for primary home buyers and real estate investors alike. So hopefully you can learn something from it and make your informed decisions whether you should buy a primary home or buy investment properties. As long as you buy the right area, you have a long-term investment perspective, you will be fine. All right. Home prices in the past 137 straight months, which we're talking more than 11 years. The past in 11 years, the housing prices has consistently gained increase in value year over year, with the exception, of course, with the very slight correction that has occurred in the past 13 months. Okay. We did not achieve any kind of crash whatsoever. All right. By the way, I have very strong statements and opinions. It's just merely my opinions based on my several decades of real estate investing experience, which is saying a lot compared against other real estate gurus that came out of nowhere. They've only been in the real estate market for several years and they call themselves a real estate guru, which is very misleading and very inaccurate. Anyway, so you have to go through several real estate cycles, and I have gone through several up and down cycles over the past 30 years. So I know what I'm talking about. I own a lot of rental properties across the U.S. The hundreds of our real estate investors that I guide have achieved massive amount of real estate. They have purchased multiple properties for those who are motivated ones. Cash flow areas, low purchase price and high rent, mainly in the Midwest and South and Southeast. I would not recommend real estate investors buy anywhere else, not the Northeast, not the Western region. and what have you. The numbers does not make sense. All right, let's go back. The several housing markets that have a year over year declines, June over June, is mostly occur in the West, which is not a surprise because the Western region of the U.S. is a very cyclical market by definition. And however, there are many other markets in the U.S. have done very well, even through last year and through the pandemic. They have not decreased any kind of value whatsoever, especially in the Midwest and South and Southeast, many pockets, many markets. Music markets is very localized, hyper local. As a matter of fact, there's no such thing as a national real estate market. However, having said that, having seen that the Western region of the U.S. over the past 12 months has gone through some slight correction, not a crash. Sorry, crash bros, you guys out there, you are wrong. Again, every year, housing one crash. YouTubers are predictive housing crash for the past 12 years. For the past 12 years, that did not happen. Okay. And real estate market continued to be very resilient, even though we have seen all the challenges and all the doom and gloom, all the negative headlines, mass media. You are dead wrong. Real estate market is doing very well, especially with the historic low supply of inventory and pent up demand still, even though we are at a currently around 7% mortgage rate. In my opinion, the interest rate, the mortgage rate in it by itself will not cause a housing crash. And historically speaking, it never has done so, because economics 101, I'll teach you once again, something many of you should have learned back in 6th grade. If demands are higher than supply, home prices will go up. And that's what we are seeing. This is indisputable. This is pure data. Something, historically speaking, has happened. And as long as people have a locking effect, people sitting on low mortgage rate at 4% or lower, many homeowners out there, and there's no way you can move up to upgrade a house at 7% mortgage rate, essentially doubling your mortgage payment. That is not a wise decision. So there's a locking effect. People are not selling. And even though demand has continued to decrease because of the home affordability crisis, I've never seen anything this bad in the past 40 years. Not enough buyers out there and not enough sellers, but there are still more buyers out there than there are sellers. Again, economics 101, demand continues to exceed supply. Anyway, let's go on. The strongest home prices gains since the beginning of the year has been in the Northeast and the Midwest. Figure. And CoreLogic projects that annual U.S. home price appreciation will continue accelerating. Notice that word accelerating. Okay. Very strong housing appreciation growth as predicted the revised CoreLogic housing update for the remaining of 2023, accelerated to reach 6.8% year over year in January 2024 and relaxed to 4.3% appreciation by June of 2024. Again, another drastic revision, not only by CoreLogic, but many other organizations such as Realtor.com, National Association of Realtors, and Redfin. All those credible websites out there this past year, 2023, have continued to revise their housing market update in a very positive manner. So you can look at my past YouTube video, you can do your own research. That has been going on this past year. So real estate market has been very robust, extremely, all right? And the future is very bright because the historic low supply inventory will continue to persist. In fact, in my opinion, my projection, the low supply inventory will continue for an indefinite period of time. Could be for the next decade or more, we will have strong sellers market. Sellers will dictate prices. If demand will be greater, especially when the mortgage rate, if and when they come down in the next 6 to 12 months, we will even have more demand and supply is not going to be changed that much. The supply of inventory. So this is my strong opinion. By the way, I want you to comment below as well. I want to hear your opinion. I know some of you guys have negative comments about it. Feel free to address that on the comment below. I'll be more than happy to answer your comments as well, your opinions. Everybody have an opinion, but be nice to each other. Don't go overboard. Core Logic expects year-over-year U.S. home prices appreciation to pick up for the rest of 2023 and reach by about 7% by early 2024. There's a very positive reinforcement by Core Logic. And 10-6 annual home prices a slight decline year over year in June. Okay, and most of them are in the northeast area of the U.S., like the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, and Washington State, and Oregon areas. Western states are still grappling the lack of homes for sale. Again, everywhere you have very few sales transactions out there so far this year. However, prices in the Western region are likely to remain elevated over the long term because the simple fact there's not enough homes for sale, even in the Pacific Northwest, where the price has corrected a little bit late last year. But year to date this year, we have seen some price increases, even in the Western region. We're seeing some fair amount of bidding war and multiple offers occurring really throughout the whole country for that matter. I've discussed that a number of times on a weekly basis about the multiple offers and bidding wars and everything else. The economic resiliency, we have a thriving U.S. job market and strong consumer spending, said Selma Kep, Chief of Economics at Core Logic. While higher mortgage rates are impacting affordability for buyers with loans, almost 4 in 10 sales are all cash transactions. Just going to show you, somewhere all over the U.S., there are people still have buckets of money. They believe in the housing market and they are pulling the trigger. 40% of the transactions occur this year on all cash. Even my area where I live past 24 years here in San Francisco Bay Area, I've seen, although I'm a licensed real estate broker in California, I don't do local sales. I'm not a realtor, if you will. I'm a real estate investor, real estate wealth advisor. However, my friends that I know who are local realtors in the Bay Area, they have given me weekly updates. They have seen $2 million home in the Bay Area selling for all cash. How did people came up with the money? I don't know. And in this one case, my friend Tony Bruno, he was a listing agent for 5 transactions a couple of weeks ago. Out of those 5 transactions, 2 of them were all cash offers. They're offering like 10 to 20% above asking. And the remaining offers that were a bid for this house, they are offering 50% down payment. And the homes in East Bay, San Francisco, the prices that he was listing for is in excess of 1 million to 1.2. This is just a small sample size of people. A lot of people that right now, they have the money all over across the country. They're bypassing the high mortgage rate and that they buy with all cash or they buy with very high down payment. So there are still more demand than there are available supply, and that is driving up home prices so far in many markets, not just San Francisco Bay Area. All right, just so you know the reality of what's going on. All right, and yes, that's true. I agree. A lot of people are priced out of the market. A lot of people are renting, therefore the rental market, and there are more renters right now anticipated in history than ever before in history. I say it again. There will be more renters who cannot afford to buy. They will continue to stay in the rental pool. So I tell my small risk investors that are part of my network, I tell them, you need to buy a home, you need to buy cash flow homes with 25% down payment because the rent is going up. Your cash flows can get a lot better in the next 2 years as more and more people price out of home purchase, and especially first-time primary home buyers. They will continue to sit on the sidelines because of the skyrocketing of home prices in the past 2 years and the skyrocketing of mortgage rates in the past several since the past year. All right. Anyway, so let's go over the core logic top takeaway for this article. Again, the Florida market, especially Miami and the South Florida markets, they defy logic, unintended, because their home prices has increased more than any other specific submarket in the U.S. So Miami and South Florida area have continued to increase year over year in terms of appreciation to the 4.3%. And even Detroit has seen price gains year over year at 4.2, bottom by Atlanta. Go figure. I don't know. Anyway, among six with the highest annual appreciation in June, up by 6.9%, or New Jersey, New Hampshire, Vermont, and the 10 states and one district recorded annual home price losses. On the other hand, or Idaho, Washington, Montana, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Oregon, California, mostly in the western region, because it has accelerated home prices gains more than a year ago. So what goes up must come down. But yeah, nothing double digit if year home price decreases. But based on my this year's research of this western region, home prices have been increasing. I know year over year, it's a little bit, the data are a little bit misleading. It seems like prices are decreasing right now, but it's not. Right now, all over the U.S., not just the western region, home prices have been increasing to the tune of around 10%, actually. Double digit increases in medium sales prices throughout the country, according to Redfin. You saw my other video, so you check out the video, you'll see the trajectories. Anyway, that's what's happening. HPI and HBI forecast will still change over year. There's a slight dip during the housing crash in 2008. Otherwise, the HBI, the core logic HBI and HBI forecast has been pretty much increasing for the past 13, 14 years until there's a slight correction on the second half of last year, but now has been picked up again. So it's a wash. It's really nothing historically bad, even this past year in terms of home prices. HPI forecast for June 2024 is 4.3%. So again, very good positive number. And the next chart, the single family combined HPI percentage change. As you can see, several markets, CoreLogic has determined as normal market condition indicator, according to their definition of the HPI, which is quite confusing sometimes, but Boston is normal, Chicago, Midwest, normal. Denver is overvalue market condition indicator, according to the HPI. Houston, overvalue. Las Vegas, overvalue. LA, normal. Miami, overvalue. Phoenix, overvalue. San Diego, overvalue. And Washington. I don't know. This kind of chart is very misleading. I don't want consumers to be out there that take too much stock into this type of analysis. It's very strange. The way I see it, overvalue means that home prices increase substantially in this boomtown markets, and because of the job growth, the migration growth, and population growth in these boomtown submarkets. I'm not going to overreact by this market condition indicated by CoreLogic. It's just against what? It's just weird. I'll report it the way I see it. and I give you my opinion. So I wouldn't consider this chart a mind-boggling a chart that will change our perspective of what's going on in the housing market. And finally, the table two, the top markets at risk of home price decline. Cape Coral, Southwest Florida, the confidence score is 80 to 60, hard to say, 60, 75%. No, 50 to 75%. Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, Southwest Florida, levels very high. And Provo, Utah, and Spokane, Washington, and Lakeland, Winter Haven, Central Florida. So these five markets, I don't know how they use the metrics to calculate this type of metrics. So I would not give any too much serious thought about this very kind of exaggerated market risk confidence score by CoreLogic. On this particular chart, like I said, I don't see any correlation between. It's not going to change the needle in terms of what's going on with the housing market moving forward. It's just prediction. CoreLogic, no different than any other housing market research firms. More often than not, they are wrong. Okay, they've been wrong multiple times, but they still get a lot of credibility and reputation for their data analytics. But like I said, over the years, I've tracked this kind of websites like National Association and Realtor, Redfin, or CoreLogic, or Blacklight, whatever. This firm, they made a lot of housing market predictions, forecasting updates over the past year, over the past 2 years, and over the past 10 years. And I have to say, 50% of the time, their forecast is not correct. Okay. Just because they appear to be academically smarter than the normal person, they can't be any smarter than myself. Okay. I've been doing it for 30 years. I know the investor behavior, but I know the local market in many markets over 40 years. And this experts that graduates from Harvard, MBA, Stanford, or Duke, or whatever, or the MIT. Yes, academically, they may be smart. They use some very high tech analytics. And from the high level to predict certain markets, it's good to know. It's good information to learn from. I will continue to report this type of housing updates for better or for worse, but I take it with a grain of salt. Real estate is very local, extremely local. Wherever you're watching this from, your local market condition. As a matter of fact, share with me what are your thoughts about my strong opinion. What are your thoughts about the overall market? What's going on in your specific area where you live, or you trying to buy, or you trying to sell, or you're a real estate investor? Or share with me your comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer back. All right. So again, my takeaway from this article is that the lot of predictions are of this indicating that we have some positive information. Housing prices are either at a stabilized area for sure. I don't see any more corrections. Definitely no crash. Sorry, crash bros out there. You guys can go out of business. Okay, you can't report housing crash every single day, which you're most of the time you're wrong. So anyway, I understand you want to get clickbait, all this kind of thing. You want to monetize your channel. You invite all those negative people to become your subscribers. So those crash porn bros out there, you are giving people permission to do nothing, not to achieve the American dream. For those of you that can afford to buy a home, whether a primary home or investment property, please do. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Nothing anybody can do about it. So anyway, the American dream is still alive out there. Just stay away from the negative headlines and the doom and glooms. The world coming to an end situation is not happening. Housing market very resilient. And long term, if you think long term, 7 to 10 years buy and hold, I don't care whether you're buying as a primary home, whether you buy as a risk investment. If you buy the right market, that the numbers make sense to you, and they have a long-term perspective, you have a good financial situation, good job stability, and cash reserve, no one can tell you not to buy a primary home. No one can tell you should not buy a rental property to achieve your wealth. Okay, thank you so much. This is Seewing. Thanks for watching. And again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need a lot more subscribers than I have currently. And also please put your email below on my website um, so you can become a free member of our real estate investing community. So you receive weekly free email from your inbox to go so you can learn more about real estate investing, where to buy, how to buy, so forth and so on. Thank you so much. This is Seewing. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.